Hi Kiwi, and welcome back to a new episode of Pikmin 1, a classic game from my childhood, and by childhood I mean probably undergrad time, so not really childhood, but this is one of those games that I just constantly go back to as a kind of comfort game, if nothing else. It's one of those games that I'm so familiar with. I can usually beat it in one sitting, but we're definitely not doing that today because I am going to challenge myself to beat this game with a very specific set of rules. Namely, each day we are going to reset our Pikmin count. We're going to start with one Pikmin of each color. Generally, I will try and kill off any excess Pikmin we have. They're just going to be those nights where we're really up against the clock, and we'll have some leftovers that make it into the next night. But I will always only use one Pikmin of each color at the start of a day. Other rules: onions are allowed. I will hold to this rule as best as I can. There is only one part in mind that I have in my mind that I think is not possible to solve with starting with a maximum of 3 Pikmin in one day. We'll see if it's the case or not, and if it is the case, well, I know for a fact that I can confidently beat this game. I may just not be able to get all 30 parts. But what I really want to say is that this is a really cool challenge because it completely changes how you play Pikmin 1. Instead of just amassing a huge army and just disregarding the threat of everything, the game becomes a lot more challenging, and you have to optimize a lot more. I should also emphasize the fact that we are definitely going to have some days where I reset or I fast forward things, because you'll see in a moment with not this day but the next day, we start in the middle of we start with a gate that just blocks us, and we have one Pikmin to break it down with. So we're not gonna we're not gonna make you sit through all of that, as much as I could very easily ramble about who knows what topic while things are spawning. I think it's probably for the best that I just fast forward those bits, and if I have a reset point, because there will be some, especially particularly when we get to the distant spring, I anticipate some pretty hard stuck reset points for a little bit until I can optimize the routing a little bit. But in those instances, I will probably describe my plan and then just kind of move along, fast forward, and then pick it up where we left off. That way there's not a lot of just kind of dead space footage that I think would be to the detriment of the overall enjoyment of this playthrough. That said, the only thing I'm going to read as far as commentary, like dialogue from the game goes, is I will read the part descriptions because I think they're kind of cute, and I'll read the overnight descriptions. Assuming I remember. I may not hold to that, but I will try to. Because Kiwi and I are both a big fan of flavor text in most games, and Pikmin is no exception to the rule of there is some good Nintendo flavor text going on here. I think there's one over here, one red pellet. Not that it particularly matters, it was the other one, darn it. I'll also do my best not to spin the camera too wildly, because I know that can probably trigger some motion sickness in people, myself and... You didn't see that. Redo. I know that... Oh my goodness, I thought I almost failed the throw again. That would have been really embarrassing. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically the plan. Onions are okay. Restart the day with one of each color of Pikmin when they're available, and then optimize the heck out of the run to make things that really should otherwise be relatively easy, even possible in the first place. It is a surprisingly satisfying challenge, and I encourage anyone else who has never done this before to try it, because it maximizes your Dandori skills. That's all I'll say. With all that said, my downtime will likely be spent rambling about GameCube era games, because I feel like that's the most appropriate thing for a Pikmin 1 playthrough, is to just enjoy the life that was Nintendo in the GameCube era. Granted, my first experience with Pikmin 1 was actually on the Switch. The remake or the port they made for the Switch is where my first experience has come from, but I figure let's lean into when this game originated from. That said, I will say, because of kind of the organization and managing that this challenge requires, I'm largely going to be just commenting on what I'm thinking about as this goes on. Of course, in typical fashion, the slowest part of the game is always the tutorial. It doesn't matter which Pikmin you're playing, particularly if you're playing Pikmin 4, the tutorial lasts far too long. And that is probably one of my biggest gripes with the Nintendo games that I've become increasingly more aware of, is that they over-tutorialize a little bit too hard. They used to be better about it, honestly, but I think that was just a different generation of games. All right, here is our dolphin engine. Let's see, what have we got to say about it, Mr. Olimar? Captain Olimar? Amazing. There's no mistaking it. My ship's engine rests before my very eyes. By a stroke of pure luck, I have already stumbled upon the most important piece of my damaged craft. Fate has smiled upon me. But how will I get it back to the dolphin? I wonder how. It is convenient that the Pikmin know to bring the ship part back to the ship. I will say that. But I guess it makes sense. They know how to color code most everything else, so it makes sense that they know how to color code ship parts as well. But I don't know. Pikmin 1 is just again one of those comfort games for me. There's something so implicitly satisfying about just launching a whole army of Pikmin into either a big swarm against an enemy, or just watching them all collect things and bring them back to the base. Like this is one of my purest forms of dopamine, is just having. I guess it's RTS strategy, isn't it? This is Nintendo's equivalent of a real-time strategy game. But there's just something so satisfying about having all of the resources be distributed across the map and watching them slowly get clustered back into your base. I don't know. It is an itch that only Pikmin has ever truly scratched for me. Granted, I've never really played any Pikmin-likes. I'm not too familiar with that sort of genre, to be honest. But I'm sure it would appeal to me if I was aware of it. The only game I can think of that might be vaguely adjacent to it, I think it was called Overlord or something like that. It was a game that a friend of mine in undergrad played, where you could create a bunch of minions to do various tasks. I think it was more combat focused. I really don't know much of anything about it. I just remember my friend was quite fond of it. But yeah. Pikmin 1, go-to comfort game. I feel like if I'm ranking Pikmin games in terms of my favorite to my least favorite, I think Pikmin 4 will have to be my favorite. Pikmin 3 would be next down. Like, I acknowledge that Pikmin 2 is the hardest of the bunch, and for a lot of reasons, that's people's favorite game. It was actually the last game in the series that I played, and I had too many frustrations with some of the things that make the game hard. The randomness of the bombs and enemies that just can really set you back, and I just didn't find it satisfying the way, like, I guess I don't necessarily want difficulty in the Pikmin games. Like, I mean, I'm creating my own form of difficulty, but it's not... It still feels fair for the most part, I guess. I don't know. That's my humble opinion. I still think all 4 games are phenomenal games in their own right, and no one is wrong for favoring or disfavoring one versus the other. But I definitely think Pikmin 2 is unfortunately my least favorite, and Pikmin 4 wins out a little bit. Oh, Toppy found a sock from the sounds of it. I'm sure that's getting picked up on the mic. Toppy, what did you bring me? What did you bring me? It is a sock. She brought me another sock. Thank you, Toppy. Let's sell it. Oh my goodness, Toppy, you're a Pikmin. Toppy, you're my own Pikmin. Excellent. All right. Just like how the Pikmin brought a part to our ship, Toppy brought a sock to our desk. Oh, glorious. With the help of these Pikmin, I've taken a huge step back toward home. My ship can once again lift off. The glimmer of hope is beginning to burn more brightly, but what has become of the remaining parts? The search starts tomorrow. Thankfully, for what it's worth, Pikmin 1's tutorial is concise and clear, and does what it needs to, and doesn't overstay its welcome. Pikmin 4. I don't remember the tutorial of Pikmin 3, but I do probably favor less dialogue in these games than more. Nintendo has always been one of those series that like wants to favor gameplay over narrative, and yet a lot of their games more recently have had a little bit too much in the way of narrative where it doesn't belong, and by that I mean, again, over tutorialization and just, I don't know. One day since impact, I have somehow managed to launch the Dolphin, but I was surprised to see the Onion lift off with me. Perhaps the Pikmin cannot survive overnight on the planet's surface, or have merely decided to join me for other reasons. Either way, it seems they will help me again tomorrow. The Dolphin is missing 29 parts. If I can't recover them all, I may never return home to my family on planet Hokotate. Analysis shows life support systems will function for only 29 more days. How can I repair my Dolphin in such a short time? A dense forest is visible on the surface below. As it holds the keys to my survival, I'll name it the Forest of Hope. I'll explore it tomorrow. All right, so that is day 1 complete. I mean, the tutorial is always a little bit shorter than the rest of the days. Each day lasts about 12 minutes, but I think we cleared this one when we're at 10 minutes now, so maybe it wasn't as short as I would like. I'm not optimized for speed running. I would love to. I have like that's one of the other things I love about the Pikmin series as a whole, is that it really entices personal, like challenging yourself to beat your time. It's like it basically creates a real time attack sort of setting. What is the earliest day you can leave on? or what is the most amount, how can you get to 100 Pikmin in a map in a single day, that sort of thing. Like, it's so fun to kind of challenge yourself with the game itself. My dolphin has returned to the surface along with the Pikmin's onion. Being alone on this strange planet makes me somewhat uneasy, so I shall call the Pikmin out of the onion. All I need to do is, I don't need to read this. All right, so like I said, we have 25 Pikmin, but I'm only starting with 1, and thankfully there are some pellet posies to take pity on us, to speed things along, but even then, we're getting 3 Pikmin, assuming this can switch to red, which it does not seem to want to do. So yeah, we're gonna have 4 red Pikmin to take out this door with. I'm gonna go ahead and get that red Pikmin starting on the wall because I can break down this pellet posy myself. And once these sprouts happen, well, you know what? I should get these guys flowered. I think I proved that flowers don't actually matter for breaking down this gate because it's just so little damage. But we'll have this Pikmin try and pull up some grass and find some nectar. You're gonna find that, like, one of my biggest flaws as a Pikmin player, I think, is just the fact that I don't prioritize nectar nearly as much as I should, especially in the early games. And one of the things I'm really gonna have to focus on in this playthrough is prioritizing getting nectar wherever possible. That said, nectar RNG can be a hot mess sometimes, and we may just not get any. We'll see. One other bit of commentary before I probably fast forward through the breaking down of this gate, which will take who knows how long. Please don't need it. Okay, cool. We got a full nectar. We can probably get all 4 of these Pikmin to consume. Is that I'm playing on a GameCube controller that's functional for the Switch. There is a decent chance that my C-Stick, which controls the camera, just goes rogue and fights against me. Another intriguing discovery, a local variety of grass produces a sort of yellow nectar. When the Pikmin drink this delicacy, they instantly mature into flowers. This apparent Pikmin favorite seems to be full of nutrition. Closer observation is needed to determine the strengths and peculiarities of these flower Pikmin. But yeah, so when I try to manage the camera, every now and again, the camera is going to fight against me. I noticed that pretty badly when I was trying to manage the map in the Pokemon Shining Pearl playthrough, but such is life, we'll manage. Anyway, I'll see you in probably 8 minutes. Enjoy! Well, this is a little silly observation. Apparently, I have collision with the Pikmin as they're breaking down the gate, so I can kind of swing them around and make them glitch out a little bit. That's kind of funny. Anything to keep me entertained while I just wait for 6 minutes straight of nothing. And there we go, gate down. So we're gonna go running out of here as soon as possible and start trying to gather as many red pellet posies as we can. Our goal is to get access to red Pikmin as soon as possible because we want to bomb down as many walls as we can, basically. Once we get the walls bombed down, basically the first day of most levels are gonna start the same. Our goal being take out as many walls as possible so that we can access them later. That'll be really hard the further into the run we go, but early on, especially in this first stage, we're gonna try and gain access to a lot of different areas as quickly as possible. Now, that is very much easier said than done for a lot of reasons, and entirely dependent on sometimes a little bit of RNG and sometimes a little bit of planning. That said, would you guys go ahead and pick that guy up? Nope, you would not. Okay, it's fine, we can throw you there. So we're gonna take these little bulb orbs and whatever pellets we can and bring them back to base, collect our friends. I'm thinking probably a solid 25. If we can flower them, even better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 1 Pikmin go to this grass patch, and I think there's another grass patch over here. Yep. So we're gonna just toss Pikmin into those grass patches early on. The goal, again, is to try and get as many of them nectared as we can. And now that I've gotten these pellet posies, these pellets, we should be able to grab that 5 pellet, which will give us a whole bunch of Pikmin really fast. And that's ultimately our goal. We need to bolster our numbers as quick as possible on the first day. And then once that's accomplished, we can worry about getting walls taken down. Arguably something I could do to potentially optimize is I skip yellows until tomorrow, just make sure I take out the wall, and then I can have all of these free pellets available for immediate access to make as many yellow Pikmin as possible and start collecting pieces from them. I think one of the coolest things about this challenge is, like, when you do a casual playthrough, you probably use yellow Pikmin the least, honestly. When you think about it, like, yellow Pikmin are generally... they're the weakest in terms of DPS. Their only benefit is that you throw them high, so there are specific instances where you need to use them, of course, but there's not a whole lot of reason to do so outside of those specific options, because otherwise it's throw blue Pikmin into water and use red Pikmin for combat. The thing about this is yellow Pikmin become probably my most important type of Pikmin outside of, again, blue Pikmin, just because they can only access areas in water, or they're able to access the only areas that have water in them. The reason for that is because managing bomb rocks becomes crucial to our overall strategy. We'll find that very early on. What we want to do is not only use the bombs for getting access to various areas, but it turns out it's pretty darn important to try and clear out a bunch of the scarier enemies, typically with bombs. And yellow Pikmin are our best answer, and honestly one of the fastest way to bolster our numbers very quickly, because we will be able to what's the word? Because with the yellow Pikmin, we can for most enemies in the game, a bomb rock will do a third to a half of their health in one hit, for the bigger, scarier enemies at least. It doesn't look like we're really going to be able to access the yellow Pikmin today, so I think the way I'm going to optimize this is let's go ahead and kill these. Well, okay, that guy had a plan. That guy had a dream and a plan, and it just did not work to his advantage. I think what we'll do is let's plan around not activating the yellow onion today. We'll build around the yellow onion tomorrow, and we will just make sure that this gate gets taken out, and we can try and get this part that's over here brought home. I think we need 40 Pikmin for that first part. I may be mistaken, but we'll easily reach those numbers with these last couple members joining the team. Would really, most importantly, I want to get the gate down. If I can get the gate down, I'll be pretty pleased with myself overall. So let's go. We'll get these guys on the wall. Get this guy to carry the little baby. What are they called? Dwarf Bulborbs, I think is their name. They definitely had a lot of fun coming up with creative names for all the enemies in this game, I have to say. Kiwi's favorite of recent memory is the Water Dwebble, which we'll find in the distant spring. A very cute name, I agree. Perfectly harmless in its simplicity, absolutely devastating in its effect sometimes. Honestly, they're one of the easiest enemies, and they will be surprisingly not part of my strategy, unless they're kind of a backup strategy, but they're not a core strategy for getting the pieces that we need. I'm not going to even bother starting to build bridges because they're going to get unbuilt pretty quickly. There we go. Okay, we've got our whole army. We should have a good 40 Pikmin. Hopefully we only need 35 for this part, because it would be really cool if we could get one part back to the base on the first day. My goal, of course, is to get one part a day because there are 30 parts in 30 days. Let's see. Why, it's the Eternal Fuel Dynamo. It has an unlimited energy supply. I won't have to worry about saving electricity anymore. This will make my fight for survival a bit easier. All right, let's go ahead and get everyone. Yep, it requires 40, so I'll go run to base and try and grab those last couple Pikmin, and we'll get this back to base ASAP. I'm going to leave the rest of the pellet posies. They do despawn overnight, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure, so there isn't a lot I can do with them, even if I leave them behind. But it's fine. Really, what we want to make sure is we save these Bulborbs. The Bulborbs are going to be the bulk of our... I wouldn't call them funds, our sustenance for Pikmin kind. And a single adult Bulborb, I think, gives us 7, if not 10 Pikmin. So it's a pretty substantial number. All right, I think we'll be able to get this back to ship in time. My clock is indicating the approach of the sunset. Pikmin waiting nearby the dolphin and onions will probably enter the onions on their own. But if I don't call the stragglers and add them to my group, they may not be able to get back. I am sure that the Pikmin still planted are safe, but I am somewhat concerned about leaving Pikmin to fend for themselves in the darkness. Right, that was one other thing I wanted to mention for the challenge. As far as Pikmin that are planted overnight and then don't get plucked, my plan for them is I'm generally not going to accept them as a viable extra Pikmin. Also, don't mind me taking out these 24 Pikmin. They have a very clear purpose in mind. They were never meant to exist in this world. Therefore, we are just going to make sure they no longer do so. See, that's all it was. I'm not cheating on my challenge, I promise. Anyway, My plan is to, if there are Pikmin left overnight that are planted, I'm just going to ignore them or kill them. I will not treat them as usable, outside of potentially that one part that I mentioned that I'm reasonably confident is not solvable without fudging the rules a little bit. Eternal Fuel Dynamo. This should light things up. No more candles for me. I have now recovered 2 out of 30 parts. If I can find just 3 more parts, I should be able to increase my ship's capabilities. Excellent. One other thing that I'll mention, because I think it's worth addressing, is if a flower Pikmin makes it to the next day, I'm not going to really reset it. I feel like there's not a consistent way of doing so. So I'm just going to let it slide. If one of my 3 Pikmin that survive into the next day are a flower, they get to stay a flower. It's not going to affect the challenge too substantially, so I'm willing to let it be what it is. Oh, you know what? Is this a Pikmin extinction? It probably is. Yeah, it is. Oops. Well, that's fine. I feel like it makes sense that on our first episode we have a Pikmin extinction because we're going to be doing that a lot. All right, so let's go ahead and read the end night dialogue. I should have enough time for one more day within the episode, but I'm pretty sure our bread timer is about to go off and I have to go put some bread in the oven. So Kiwi, I will be back with you shortly as soon as we read this little bit of text. I figure rather than let the recording run for an extra 10 minutes, I can be timely with my affairs. 2 days since impact, it appears that many of my ship's parts have landed in the region. If I can just recover the parts of my radar, I should be able to use my radar screen. How that would improve my chances, then I'd only have to press plus to locate my parts. Yet there seem to be many hostile life forms here. If I am attacked and my spacesuit takes damage, I must return to my ship and press A. Blah blah, this is tutorial stuff. There are fewer and fewer tutorial things as we get on. Also, well, that's a funny number. We got 44 Pikmin today. That's pretty funny. Ha ha ha. Nice. All right, I will be back shortly, Kiwi, with obviously more peak commentary that you deserve to fall asleep to. Hi, Kiwi. All right, I am back. We have bread in the oven. I am so excited to share that with you soon. It's been, oh goodness, it's been a while since we've made bread together. No purer form of love can we share than our baking, I'd say. So very much looking forward to it. We're doing our classic rosemary rolls, so I've got about 25 to 30 minutes of recording time. I will hopefully not have to reset too many times in between there, but maybe I can get 1 or 2 more days recorded. When the Pikmin become extinct, the onion releases a single seed. How does the onion know that the Pikmin have all been lost? I do not understand this mechanism, but I have no time to try and decipher its riddle. I must do all I can to protect the lone Pikmin, and of course, I must prevent such an extinction from ever happening again. Olimar, I've got a real bad feeling about that statement, my friend. Anyway, we have unlocked our access to the yellow Pikmin. I'm honestly just gonna completely forget this red Pikmin exists and go beeline for that. Now, our goal here is to prioritize our bomb rocks into enemies, probably this Bulborb just to clear it out of the way, but otherwise we're going to be prioritizing breaking down as many walls as we can. There are a good number of them in this stage. There's one that we can't access because it's blocked off by water, but everything else we're going to try and break down today, and hopefully gather the radar at the same time. Since it's right over past this wall, you can actually see it clipping through just above the top of the screen there. The radar doesn't take very much to collect, and it doesn't even need yellow Pikmin despite being kind of elevated up. Anyway, here is probably the most important color of the game aside from blue when we have water-locked pieces. This color is different, but it seems to be a Pikmin nonetheless. First glance suggests this one has what, in some circles, could be considered very large ears. Just like my dad. It looks like it may weigh less than the others. In what other ways might it be different from the red Pikmin? Let's throw it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and propagate as many of these as we can in as short a span of time. Our goal number will likely be about 15 though. There's a fair few bomb rocks spread across the stage, so we've got a good number of places to aim for. That wall over there we'll probably save for last. Admittedly, it's not as important as getting some of the other walls broken down, especially because I don't anticipate I'm going to be dealing with a Snagret on our first pass through this area, but we will see. Trying to get things moving as soon as possible. Slightly suboptimal there, but it's fine. Okay. I swear I am trying to get that pellet in there. All right, we can probably kill that dwarf Bulborb, but I think what I'm going to do is just to play it safe, we'll go ahead and grab 2 bombs here. And we'll use those to take out the adult bulb orb first. The yellow Pikmin have picked up some peculiar stones. Why did they decide to grab them? This action seems to be instinctive to the yellow Pikmin, but just what are these strange glowing stones? Brightly glowing cracks cover them. Perhaps these cracks indicate that there's a tremendous power locked away within. This merits further research. So here's a minor optimization that I have discovered, and that, why are you trying to break the wall when you could just grab a bomb? No. Okay. We'll have to deal with some Pikmin 1 AI shenanigans. Anyway, so here's a minor optimization I've discovered. If you throw a bomb on either side of an enemy, you can actually get both Pikmin to... Never mind, this only works on Emperor Bulbax. Never mind. Oh, the glowing rocks are bombs. I must be vigilant. When I throw a bomb rock carrying Pikmin and give them orders, they will toss their bomb rocks at nearby walls or obstacles. The explosive power of the bomb rocks is tremendous, so I must keep my distance. Unfortunately, they caught me with the dialogue right as I was trying to tap through something else, but see, that is the power of the bomb rocks for optimizing the run. A sizable threat that a small army of Pikmin could easily be pretty chunked by is immediately wiped out. And we're gonna be playing around that a lot to make this challenge work. But for now, we're getting blue pellets for all of our blue Pikmin. We are missing one. I don't have the radio or the radar to figure out where that missing one is. Hello? Hello? All right, well, I guess I am just... Oh, wait, I'm dumb. It's my red Pikmin that's a sprout still. Awkward. Trying to optimize this a little bit. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Trying to get everything back to base as soon as possible, and we can start working on some walls with this one yellow that still remains. That makes sense. There's going to be a lot of days where we're just taking one yellow Pikmin and bombing every entity that we can with it. Okay, good. I was worried that might trigger those bomb rocks if I wasn't careful. All right, let's go ahead and summon you guys to go ahead and collect this body. And the next area is a little bit dicey because there are a fair number of sheer grubs. Sheer grubs are really frustrating because they cannot die while they are in their attack frame. That was something that they really liked in Pikmin 1 is when enemies are in their attack frames, they cannot die. That goes for the adult bulborbs, that goes for the sheer grubs and the flying versions of them. It goes for the frog enemies too, the wallywogs I think they're called. And it's going to be the death of a good Pikmin more than a single time. I can promise you that much at the very least. Anyway, with all that said, let's go ahead and toss this bomb rock here. I'm trying not to pick up all the bomb rocks just yet, out of fear for accidentally getting eaten a lot, having that bomb rock getting eaten and exploding and wiping out our army. So here's our plan. We're gonna go into this next area up ahead. We are going to try and clear out the male sheer grubs that pose the biggest threat. Again, there are two types of sheer grubs, the fleshy pink colored ones and the angry purple ones that have little scissor prominences from their face. Those are the ones that will be the antithesis to my happiness, and I actively seek no part of their longevity in this enterprise. That was way more flowery than it needed to be to say I want them dead. I want them so dead it's not even funny. I'm gonna just leave you guys over here, not in range of bomb rocks, so that you don't pick them up. All right. These dwarf bulborbs have gotten the scent of blood. Why are you collecting? No, wait, you're going the wrong way, guys. What are you doing? It's my whimsical radar. With this, I'll be able to see all nearby ship parts in just a single glance. Well, we're immediately gonna lose a Pikmin, aren't we? Yeah, we lost 2. Okay, well this is not going the way I wanted it to at all. Why aren't you attacking things? Oh gosh. Well, I think we just lost like 4 Pikmin, which is really not ideal. All right, so there is another bulborb up ahead. This time we have enough of an army. I think I'm just gonna fight it the good old-fashioned way. And the nice thing about this is if I position correctly from behind, I should be able to kind of stun lock it. All bets are off on whether this plays out. Wait, why were they going this way? The wall is blocked off. I'm so miffed, Kiwi. That's just not fair. That's so unfortunate. All right, so yeah, as long as you keep the attack up, it will only eat some of your Pikmin, I guess. Oh boy. I think this is a reset point. That was unfortunate. All right, continue from previous save. All right, well, you've gotten the gist of what we're gonna do. I'll be back once we get our little 30-some Pikmin back. see, you can kill it with 2 bombs at once if you position right. I was correct. That feels fancy. All right, having learned my lesson from past mistakes, we're gonna re-optimize a little bit around here. We're gonna go ahead and try and pick up as many bombs as we can, and we're just gonna go bombing the heck out of everything we can. Doesn't seem like there are any more bombs in that little can, and we've, in theory, picked up all the bombs we can here. Nope, we haven't. The AI is as ever cooperative as possible. All right, so I think what we'll do is I still really want to knock down that sheer grub wall first, but given the fact that we're pathing the radar through there anyway, I think I'll go through the main base, collect that 1 red Pikmin that happened to spawn to humor this playthrough with its meager existence, and then we will kind of loop around, take out all the enemies in this area, and come back. So let's see. I think I will save this Bulborb for tomorrow if I can, because it's a nice, pretty sizable boost in population number if I can get away with it. Actually, I have an idea that it might be nice too. Okay, so I think first let's prioritize this wall. Let's prioritize this wall, and then I think I've got a plan. All right, bombs only, please. I think this takes 3. 1, 2, 3. 3. There we go. Get out of there. There we go. Perfect. All right, so there is an adult Bulborb here as well as a dwarf Bulborb. So let's try and take out the dwarf first so that it does not get in the way of our goals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, wow, we almost immediately fed that. I don't know who is worse here, me for missing all those shots or the Bulborb for missing all of the bites there. Either way, that was an embarrassing affair for all parties involved. We've got 4 bombs left. Okay, so I think 1 on this side, right there, and 1 over here. But oh, there's a wall that we decided to target. That's fine. Right. Oh, this is not going well. Get out of there, get out of there. Oh, well, okay, we had a hero. He died in the line of duty, but he got the kill that we needed. Okay, so we are at 33 Pikmin. We've taken out some of the biggest threats on the map. I am going to go ahead and leave this 1 bomb Pikmin alone, and let's go try and gain access to this area, clear out the sheer grubs, the dwarf Bulborbs, that sort of thing. I may as well start bringing these corpses back because we'll need the numbers anyway. And I can likely kill the sheer grubs before they're a problem as long as I find them in time. Yeah, see, so it's not even that they don't die necessarily, it's that they briefly have a moment of where they don't take their damage doesn't happen or catch up to them until after the fact. All right, we're gonna bail out of here. Oh, well, we lost 1, but that's fine. You guys go over here. I want to kill these dwarf Bulborbs before they are a problem. Just want to kill. Oh, we're all here. Okay, well, this is not what I wanted to have happen. Oh gosh, that's a lot of things getting eaten alive. Well, the good news is this is a lot of corpses, and we can harvest all of them for our devices. As you can see, I am not necessarily the best Pikmin player. I will say this went this area in particular went maybe a little bit smoother when I was playing solo, trying to map things out for myself. But such is life. Such is life. I do not expect perfection. I do not ever achieve perfection, frankly, but I try. And we'll still be very well capped off in our Pikmin count. I'm actually gonna go take these guys over this way because there's another set of bomb rocks in the can over here. It's only a couple, but the door that is blocking access to that part over there by where the sheer grubs were, admittedly, is very likely going to take multiple bombs. So what I'm thinking right now is rather than optimize for breaking down that wall, we take out the wall that's next to it, or that's relatively close to it. And the reason for that is there's another part over there that we can take instead. And then maybe I loop around, go up this ledge that I think I'm thinking of that we can probably get an extra part that way. All right, I've got a plan. Definitely bolstering our numbers before we do this, because we're gonna have to kill a couple enemies on the way there. But I think what I'll do is, let's drop you guys off here. Let's go ahead and collect that radar piece first. And then I'll put all of these guys on the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, you needed 15. What am I counting? Let's get these back to base real quick. I was just throwing aimlessly there, hoping that I would get enough, and it appears that I was successful. I'll just let you go dormant there. Inactive, I guess, is the proper word. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take the rest of these Pikmin back with us the way we came and try to break down that wall. We've got a pretty sizable army. This is gonna be one of the highest Pikmin totals we have for some time, but I'm feeling pretty good about how things are going so far. All right, we'll leave you guys here for now and prioritize breaking down some walls. I'm not too afraid of what sheer grubs remain here. We can honestly save them for some free Pikmin in the next run. I think our number is actually really good. I don't want to collect too many more. It's my whimsical radar. We already read this. Woohoo. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and send the bomb Pikmin over here to take out this wall. That is not a bomb. Where'd the bomb go? Oh, buddy. You are a brave soul and a lucky soul. Oh, I've messed up a second time. Come this way, boys. I don't think we lost anyone. All right, we still have some survival left on that wall. I keep throwing them over because the angle is just not agreeing with my brain. Okay, there we go. We've got 2 bomb rocks left, which is great because that means we can take out this adult Bulborb with them. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss you right over there. I don't care that this Dwollerf is even humoring a threat here because that Pikmin is like just about to get eaten. He's on his way back to us, but he's absolutely gonna get eaten alive there. Unfortunate, but it's fine. All right, Whimsical Radar. This important part can detect the locations of the other missing parts. The radar will be added to my monitor, which I can press plus to view. I can scan, blah, blah, blah. I now have recovered 3 parts, 2 more to increase ship capacity. Oh, we are lucky. How did you not get eaten alive there, my friend? Okay. Anyway, I do think we take these guys out as much as they would be like, well, that's awkward. No one saw that, okay? Let's at least take this guy out. Okay, so we'll pull our army over here because we can see a part off in the horizon. I hope it only takes 30 pieces. If it doesn't, I'm gonna toss these guys upstairs and try and get a different piece. And by upstairs, I mean up a minor ledge. All right, there we go. Let's see. Do we have enough? The Nova Blaster. This emits a dazzling burst of light capable of destroying almost anything. I'm not exactly sure about this, but the promotional brochure claims that the blast can travel in the currents of space-time, smashing through stars and into the rifts of space. All right, come on. Okay, good. It only takes 30, so that's amazing. There are also a bunch of bomb rocks here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to first the Yellow Onion, because going to the Yellow Onion, you know, I completely forgot there's a 20 Pikmin, or a 20 pellet here. And it persists between the first 2 days, I think. So I could have actually optimized around that pretty heavily, and I didn't, unfortunately. But it's not too late. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start by bringing these guys this way to collect some bomb rocks. We'll take out the Bulborb. I won't have enough yellows to collect the part up here, I presume, unless it's a tiny piece, which I don't think it is. But we'll come back for them, and we can probably get it off the ledge. And as long as we get it off the ledge, I think we're in the clear. See if we can grab as many of these bomb rocks as we can. I would really, really, really like to take out that door by where the sheer grubs were earlier. I think we're... Okay, that's a whole lot of bombs. We are an army full of threat right now. All right, so now I have to come back around the other way. This is probably my chance to grab the yellow Pikmin from the Yellow Onion, but I am a little pressed for time. I think I'll risk it. I think I will risk it, because I might need more. I'll at least grab this yellow. I think it's worth it at least grab... I know my colors. I'll grab this red. I can probably run back to base and grab whatever yellows drop off that Nova Blaster, actually. Okay, so this sad little adult Bulborb stands no chance here, mind you. It is going to get wrecked by a bombardment. All right, Nova Blaster. This is a weapon of such incredible destructive force that it can blast stars into tiny pieces. It has a strange allure. Shame you didn't use it for that asteroid that stranded you here, bud. But anyway, we get 1 bomb. You know, I just realized I can't carry this if I don't have Pikmin not carrying bombs, so I guess we're coming back for this in a little bit. This apparatus counteracts the shaking and swaying that normally occurs during flight. It's smooth sailing with this in place, usually. Anyway, we'll go ahead and at least take out this Bulborb so that... Oh, well, that was the worst case scenario that you will find sometimes happen, where for some reason, Bulborb legs are invulnerable to damage and act as an entire barrier to prevent the enemies from getting hit. It is unfortunate, it is frustrating, and it is entirely debilitating to a good strategy sometimes. Okay, we've got a good solid count of Pikmin now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hope that this is enough yellows to carry that shock absorber back up. Nope, come on guys. No pallet posies right now. Yeah, we've got 40. That should be more than enough. There's no part in the first area that requires 50 Pikmin, so, and I don't think there's any 45ers at any point in this, so we should be good. And this will buy us enough time to potentially take out at least most of the walls, maybe not all of them. My goal here, I think, is because we've wiped out most of the enemies at this point, I probably go to the forest navel once this makes it back to base. Oh, good. It only took 30. So I'll go ahead and just deactivate them. Even if they don't make it to base in time, that's fine. As long as we get it off the sledge, we make a huge bit of progress for ourselves. And a lot of the other parts that are left on this map either soft require blue Pikmin or hard require blue Pikmin. So I think it is perfectly fine to just go around bombing walls and calling it a day. I think this was an extremely successful day. Like, this was way more optimized than my test run was. I will say that much at least. Okay, that's one wall, and now I think this wall over here needs 9 Pikmin to pop open. So I may have just wasted a bomb, and we may not be able to break this tonight, but that is fine. Let's go ahead and separate bombs from not bombs, and then just toss all of you guys over here. This is basically the last destructible wall we have to care about. Wow, we had enough. Awesome. So I don't think we're going to be getting that screw anywhere. So why don't we go ahead and pluck these Pikmin out? We're going to have... We don't have enough time for a mass extinction, unfortunately, but I can at least get rid of these yellows. These nasty, nasty stragglers who don't deserve the light of day. This gets dark very quickly. All right, shock absorber. This nifty little device counteracts the shaking and swaying experience in the typical spaceflight. I have recovered 5 out of 30 parts, increasing my dolphin's capabilities. My search can now cover a wider area. So I did not, like my original attempt just to kind of like get a sense of how this plays out did not go nearly as well. And I think I didn't leave this area until like day 6 or something. I was averaging a part a day at best. So honestly, today couldn't have gone better. I think I optimized the heck out of this and I didn't even mean to. It feels pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and just leave you guys as a snack for this bulborb over here. No remorse whatsoever. Enjoy. Actually, you know what? Honestly, I don't think I have to even leave because I have so many remaining bulborbs that I can just bomb, and I don't need the bombs for anything else. So I really could just finish this area, but I think it makes more sense to go to the forest navel. There are 2 reasons for that. Here, this area is wonderfully rich with resources that we can build an army off of. The later areas are not so kind to us, and objectively speaking, we need to have those numbers or we're gonna fail the run. So I think to play it safe, I am not going to risk it. We'll head to the forest navel. We unlocked it, and we can make some progress there. And then we'll come back, and we'll just clean up the last couple pieces once we have blue Pikmin that kind of grant us access to those last bits. I think we only have like 3 or 4 parts left in the area, and 2 require some amount of blue Pikmin. 1 really needs it, the other doesn't so much. Well, actually, no, there are 2 that need blue Pikmin and 1 that kind of needs them. Anyway, I now add yellow Pikmin to my list of discoveries. These creatures can wield bomb rocks, so perhaps I can use them to blast down rock walls and open up new regions. Red and yellow Pikmin, as well as bomb rock carriers, break into squads when dismissed. All right. So we have spread at 150. Our number killed is lagging behind a little bit, but we will very easily solve that problem in another episode. Kiwi, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. In the next one, more reset every day, reset to 1. I don't know how to like, help me come up with a good title for this series, but resetting back to 1 of each color challenge. Day 4 starts tomorrow. See you soon, love. Rest well.